We're set for baseball in just a few more minutes as the National League Central leading Cardinals take on the Colorado Rockies at Coors Field here in Denver, Colorado on an absolutely beautiful Friday evening for baseball. Welcome back inside Coors Field, everybody. Alongside Tracy Ringlesby and Jeff Houston, I'm Alana Rizzo. And guys, we haven't talked a lot about pitching so far this evening, but Ubaldo Jimenez takes the ball for the Colorado Rockies tonight, and he has shown life in his last couple of outings. Huey, what time to get this guy a win?
Well, it's no longer about the thumb. It's no longer about any leg issues that he might have had in spring training. It's mechanics, out to win, all of that. What I saw in his last start against Milwaukee on Sunday was a guy that went out and used his fastball to set up his other pitches. He went back to being a power pitcher, and that's what Ubaldo Jimenez is. He's a power pitcher, a complete game, 8 innings, 2 earned runs. The 1 walk did come back to haunt him, but that's going to happen. When you give up 2 earned runs in a ball game in 8 innings, you should be the winner. I saw a lot of positive things from Ubaldo in that game against the Brewers.
Well, and I think what you look at, too, is there's been guys that have had their tough starts. Ubaldo's not the first guy. And you know what? It doesn't mean you have to be a failure. I mean, Tom Browning, the kid from Casper, Wyoming, he went 14 games that year. If you want to look at a guy like Bob Friend, he won 8 games that year. He won 80 games the next 5 years. Louis Tiant pitched for 13 more years, won 20 games 3 times. Ubaldo's struggling. He's pitched well the last couple of times, like Jeff said. It doesn't mean he can't win games.
Do you know every single person that has ever come from the state of Wyoming?
Well, there's not a lot of them.
You know everyone, though. I
know Jeff Houston.
Yeah. That is true. I know Jeff Houston as well. Coming up, in case you missed it, the Rockies made another roster move. We revisit the decision to designate Jose Lopez and call up Eric Young Jr. when we come back. Welcome back to Coors Field as we continue to get ready for Game 1 between the Cardinals and the Rockies. Chris Iannetter and Ubaldo Jimenez making their way to the pen to warm up for this ball game. Of course, as we mentioned, Ubaldo Jimenez still looking for his first win of the 2011 season. The Rockies have made 4 significant moves since May 13th, and here is the latest. After last night's ball game, they designated Jose Lopez for assignment, just a 208 average with Colorado as a Rocky. They recalled Eric Young Jr. from AAA Colorado Springs, a 363 average with the Colorado Springs Sky Sox. And time now to get you upstairs to the two gentlemen calling tonight's ball game, Drew Goodman and George Frazier. And guys, Jim Tracy has said it recently in the last couple of weeks, if you're not going to be here to help us win, you're not going to be here for very long. Your thoughts on the most recent move?
Well, you know what? Jose Lopez wasn't swinging the bat, and it becomes magnified, I think, George, when the entire team's not really swinging, save a couple of guys.
Well, part of that, I agree with you 100%, except for one thing. Dexter Fowler striking out a lot at the leadoff spot. EY's been hitting 363 in AAA in the leadoff spot, 17 stolen bases. So maybe he'll bring that leadoff position in the lineup of what Jim Tracy's wanting, some ducks on the pond, as they say in baseball, but they want to do it early and often.
Well, I tell you what, the thing about EY, and we've seen him in the past, he's an extremely hard worker. He is lightning fast. This isn't a guy with just good speed. He has great speed, and he knows how to steal bases. And George, he's gone down to AAA, and he's gotten better defensively, and he's gotten better offensively.
Well, the big key for me is the fact he went down there and played center field. You know, he didn't play a lot of second base. Everybody knows he can play an adequate second base. They wanted to see if he could play an adequate center field, and he did that. I think the other thing that hurt EY in spring training, he didn't get to play till the last week of spring training because of the injury to the shin had not healed the way he wanted it to, and so they held him out of it, and he came out strong at the end, just not strong enough to take a position out of camp.
He's an exciting player. The Rockies hope he can give them a spark at the top of the lineup. You know how badly they've been struggling offensively. Rockies and Cardinals come on back to 20th and Blake with us. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By the Ford F-150. It's not just a pickup truck, it's a Ford F-150. Drive one. By the new Quest 5-year price lock promise. Visit quest.com/promise for details. By Sonic, America's drive-in. It's new, it's better, it's the new Sonic. Good. And by Southwest Airlines, new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Ubaldo Jimenez taking the hill, looking for his first W of 2011 as he will face the St. Louis Cardinals. And let's take a look at the Southwest batting order for Tony La Russa's Cardinals. He'll have Ryan Theriot leading off at shortstop. John Jay will be in left field for Matt Holliday. Matt still has that sore quadricep. He is available to pinch hit. Albert Pujols, below, his great numbers. He's just at 261 right now. Lance Berkman's had an MVP-like first 2 months. Then Alan Craig, who can swing it. Kobe Rasmus, Yadier Molina, Daniel Descalso, and Jake Westbrook. We're ready for baseball. Glad as always you're along. And the first pitch of the ball game, just off the outside corner. Ball one on Theriot. Ubaldo coming off a complete game loss at Milwaukee, 3-1, although he allowed just 2 hits in the ball game.
Yeah, amazing job. I mean, a couple of walks that ended up biting him a little bit. They put on a double steal, then a misplayed ball in the outfield, and a bad exchange on the relay.
That ball chopped foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the other good thing about the outing, other than the loss naturally, he did walk 5. That's still too high a number naturally. But George, 106 pitches to get through 8 innings, so he had a lot of quick outs in there also.
Well, he had a lot of quick outs, and again, the third Rocky pitcher to pitch a complete ball game and come up on the losing side of it. Typically when guys throw complete games, you're hoping they get on the winning side of it. Chassin and De La Rosa, the other 2 with complete games, but again, on the losing end of it.
Ryan Theriot's got a 9-game hitting streak going as he battles away at the plate, hitting .342 during the streak. This Cardinal team has been terrific offensively. They're leading the league with a .281 batting average. And they're leading the National League Central by 2.5. Swung on and missed on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball away. So a nice start for Ubaldo. As we take a look at the scouting report on the Rockies' #1.
Well, this season 8 starts. Obviously, you're looking at the average pitch per inning, 17.8. The average run support has not been there as it was the second half. It wasn't there then for him also. Now, looking at his numbers versus the National League Central through his career, big numbers here, 14-7, 298 earned run average. Yet in his career, 2-2 versus the Cardinals. And that's a little misleading because last year during 2 starts was 1-0. Over those 2 starts, 16 innings, 6 hits, 16 strikeouts, just 4 walks, and he gave up 1 run. The last start of the season, 3 hits, 8 shutout innings, and got a pat on the back for an attaboy.
Well, that's what the Rockies' offense was in the same place it is right now late in the season. That's high at 95. 1-2 on John Jay. And Ubaldo this year, you saw the run support. George was touching on it. It's the 3rd worst run support in the National League right now. 1-2's fouled off. The Cardinals were in town Wednesday night. They lost on Wednesday 3-1 to the Padres out west. They did take 2 of 3 in that series. They had a complete day off yesterday. This ball's in the air toward left center field. It's going to touch down and roll to the wall. Gonzalez to first there, and John Jay has a 1-out double. Slider left up in the zone.
Well, one of those sliders that was starting to see a little velocity. His last start, it was 82-84. This slider at 87 miles an hour on a 4th strike zone. The location is asked to be down and away, yet it's up. And at 87 miles an hour, Jay does a nice job getting the head of the bat out early on this pitch and then just driving it into left center field. Showing a little bit of his strength and driving the ball past Gonzalez.
And he's showing what he's been doing all month long now to the Rockies. He's hitting above .390 in the month of May, which is the best mark in the National League. Here's Albert Pujols with not Pujols-like numbers, just .261. You can see Jimenez look to ratchet it up a little bit. This is down low. 8 home runs. Albert hit a home run a few days back, snapping a streak, George, of 102 plate appearances without amazing? A home run. It was the longest stretch of his career. 2-0 on Albert.
Well, nothing wrong with pitching around Albert Pujols a little bit to make him hit your pitch.
Yeah, let me correct that. I had the number wrong. So it was 105 at bats, 119 plate appearances between home runs for Pujols. Here's the 2-0. And it's 3-0.
Well, what ends up happening an awful lot, Mark McGwire, the hitting coach, you start to dissect it a little bit. A manager will get involved with it. You notice on the 4th strike zone, everything away from Pujols, not giving him an opportunity on the inner half of the plate.
Also looks like 2 of those pitches touched the strike zone. Here's the 3-0. Albert swinging, and it's a base hit, and it's going to score a run. So Pujols with a single. Jay comes around, and Jimenez gives up a run here in the 1st.
Yeah, Mark happy about the swing from Pujols. Didn't try to do too much with it. Just went to the right side. We'll take a look at this pitch to Pujols. They're wanting to run this ball inside, freeze this thing in. You can see that ball is up and out over the plate, not anywhere where Iannetta. Watch Iannetta's glove come up. So this ball's coming up, and here's where Iannetta's going to end up having his glove in a situation, but the foot is down. Everything's on the load here, and that impact. See, I'm looking at eyes to see if they're watching where the baseball's going, and obviously it was. And the ball away from him at 87, breaking away, went to right field with it.
And here's Lance Berkman, who has stunned the National League in his return to the National League this year, leading the NL at .350. He's leading in slugging percentage. He's leading in on-base percentage.
All that, to me, is because he's healthy. You know, you think about all the knee problems he had, back problems he was having, hamstring problems. He was playing on a baseball team that, quite honestly, folks, was rebuilding an awful lot of things.
Tulowitzki waiting. And that is out number 2. Let's take a look at the Rockies defensively. A change in the outfield. It is Eric Young Jr. in center field. Carlos Gonzalez is in left. Ryan Spilborg for Seth Smith in right. Smith has a groin strain. He's day to day. Wigginton, Tulowitzki, Herrera, and Helton around the infield. And Chris Iannetta doing the catching. 2 outs and Alan Craig up. You know, the numbers, George, for me are better. For you, they're better when you look at Jimenez. You know, his last couple of starts, just 5 earned runs, 10 hits. The league's only hitting .212, which, if he had enough innings, would be one of the top marks in the National League.
Of course, the problem that comes up for Jimenez is the fact when you do walk a couple of guys and set up yourself for 1 base hit or 2 base hits. I mean, as Drew mentioned, that last start against Milwaukee, just 2 hits over 8 innings, but it was at an inopportune time when they had a double steal at 2nd and 3rd. Ryan Braun smoked the ball into left center field, and then because of the shadows, Dexter Fowler had a tough time with the baseball.
And it turned into a Little League home run. He dove, ball went to the wall. Pujols an enormous jump, and this is fouled off.
Yeah, Pujols had a giant jump there, and pardon me, Drew, but what he did was timing everything with Ubaldo Jimenez. And Pujols has 3 stolen bases on the year. He hasn't been caught yet. He's a smart base stealer.
He's always been that way. The Rockies gave up 9 stolen bases in that series that just concluded against Arizona.
And that's got to look both ways. Is it pitcher? Is it catcher? Are they picking times like right there on a split finger where Chris has to rock out on that outside leg and be able to block the baseball? Well, obviously he's not in a good throwing position.
Two hit hard. Tulowitzki has it. He's going to go the long way, and he throws out Craig. In the inning, a double by Jay and a single by Pujols gives the Cardinals a 1-0 advantage. First inning, and the Rockies are going to face Jake Westbrook, who was originally a Rocky, at least in the minor leagues for a good period of time. He was originally the #1 pick of the Colorado Rockies. A lot of success with the Cleveland Indians, and now with the St. Louis Cardinals, and he's throwing the ball exceptionally well. As you look at Eric Young Jr. stepping in, his first big league at bat in 2011. The rest of the lineup is as follows: Johnny Herrera, Cargo, Tulowitzki, Helton, Wigginton, Spilborg, Zionetta, and Jimenez. Rockies, losers of 3 of 4 against Arizona, have fallen under 500 for the year, 24 and 25, and they're under 500 now at home, 12 and 13. Pujols has broken glasses.
And Barry Weinberg's searching. Where's all of his glasses? They're in his locker, Barry. I'll help you out.
Yeah, Barry, the head trainer for the Cardinals.
Westbrook's had difficulty with the top of the order. They've hit 370 against him, and I think that's something that people should take into account.
That's in there for a strike. You just couldn't ignore the numbers that EY put up. You're not talking about, you know, a 290 average. You're not about spent most of the season above 350.
I think already you see a difference in his stance at the plate than what we saw a year ago with the positioning of the hands. His upper body's a lot more relaxed, upright. Pitch comes and then just kind of stays back with it. I tell you, the other side of it is 373, 363. To me, at Colorado Springs is still 325, 340 at this level.
Terrio's got to come hard, and he's going to get it there in time. So EY's retired 6-3. Johnny Herrera will come up. We get a closer glance at Jake Westbrook.
Yeah, he's done a nice job out on the road this year. 4-3 overall record. Struggled at home, which is kind of unusual in that ballpark. His home, 641 earned run average. Out on the road, 2-1 record with a 395 earned run average. The opposition, 285. And this is a guy that's going to put the ball on the ground. He's a heavy sinker ball. That's what he relies on. Mentioning in his newspaper article this morning, talking about his start against the Rockies tonight, he said, I just got to be aggressive. He said, early in the season, I was not being aggressive. I was picking at the corners, falling behind, walking guys, and getting back to his old self, and just throwing hard sinkers and rely on the defense.
Well, his last 2 starts have been outstanding. He went 8 shutout innings in his last start in Kansas City. 4 hits, walked 3, struck out 3. Against Philadelphia in his previous start, he allowed 1 run in 7 innings. Pulled foul. His ERA, George, got beat up a little bit when he went back in a ball game after a lengthy rain delay and didn't have the same stuff and paid for it. Here's the 1-2. And it's 2-2 on Herrera.
And really never a good choice to do that at any level for pitchers. I don't care the age, because, you know, you get amped down. You know, the rain delay, you're sitting around, you're talking to your friends, you're in the locker room, or you're sitting and watching tape, and all of a sudden you got to fire back up, and typically you don't have the same results. There's that good running sinker, 90 miles an hour.
Strike 3 on the outside corner. And Johnny Herrera's gone. That's 2 outs. That'll bring up Carlos Gonzalez. Let's take a look at the gloves tonight for St. Louis. John Jay's in left. Colby Rasmus is in center. And Lance Berkman, who's primarily in his big league career been a first baseman, he's holding his own out in right field. Descalso, Terrio, Alan Craig, who's more of an outfielder, he's at second. Pujols at first. Yadier Molina, one of the best defensive catchers in the game. Here's Cargo. Strike on the corner.
Well, here's one thing about playing right field. You got to have a decent arm, which Berkman has. As far as chasing stuff down, that's what Rasmus for in center field. So for Berkman, if it's over his head, it's out of the ballpark. If it's out in front of you, field it and get it back to your infielders as fast as you can. And a kick save by Westbrook.
1-2-3 inning in the first for Westbrook. 1-0 St. Louis as we go to the second. Cardinals got a run on a Pujols base hit in the first against Jimenez as we check in with Mark Stout for the first time tonight.
All right, Drew and George, don't be surprised that EY Jr. is playing center field. Here's what he emphasized out of the Springs earlier when he was playing with the Sky Sox.
I ended up playing more outfield than infield, but you know, I started playing left, center, even practiced in right field as well. So took ground balls at second, short, and third. So, like I said, I got all my gloves ready, and whatever they throw at me, I'm ready for.
And he's ready to go regardless of where Jim Tracy puts him. Jim Tracy said, look, we're just going to see what he can do in center field. Might be a work in progress, but they need that spark. There's a single to get things going for the Cardinals, guys.
All right, Mark, thank you. Colby Rasmus singles. Yadier Molina, who's really swinging the bat this year, he's at 318, will step up. And we alluded to this in the first inning, and this, for me, at least initially, is what we were seeing from Jimenez 3-4 starts ago, where he wasn't working off his fastball, a lot of off-speed stuff, and the fastball is very ordinary, George, by his standards.
Well, I've seen 94 a couple of times, but more 90s, 91s, which is 5 to 6 miles an hour behind his standards instead of just airing it out and letting it fly. Right now, feeling more for the strike zone than anything. Rasmus just broke a...
He took a big jump, and he's going to steal second. All of a sudden, the last two series, as Rasmus picks off his 4th stolen base, teams look like they're running at will on the Rockies, and it's not for me on Iannetta. He doesn't have a chance here.
Not here. That's just a huge jump. Not even a one-look pick or take or anything else. Tulowitzki thought maybe before the foot tag hit the bag that he got him on top of the helmet. Obviously, second base umpire Vic Carapazza saw it differently.
0-2 on Molina. And that was a splitter in the dirt.
Now, one thing Molina started to do, which makes a lot of sense, is using all parts of a baseball field. Not, ooh, that missed poorly. But not trying to, Drew, try to pull everything, get pull happy, concerned about calling a game, throwing guys out. Sure, he still does that. But he has swung the bat well this year. 318 clip, and right now working on a 15 for 33 in his last few ball games. You know, McGuire, everybody wondered, would he have the work ethic, superstar coming back to be a batting coach? A lot of guys have tried it. Did not have success doing it, but he's got a great passion.
Diving stop, Herrera. He's going to get the out at first. Great play by Herrera, and a very good piece of hitting by Molina. He was just trying to move the ball to the right side, and Herrera saves the base hit and an RBI.
Well, good thing about Johnny in this play is he recognizes the speed of Molina, knowing who's at the plate. So when he dives for the baseball, he gets to his feet very quickly, and it looks like he rushed that throw, but mechanically he was outstanding. Stayed right behind the baseball, a very true, strong throw with some accuracy, and was able to get the out.
Daniel Descalso will be the hitter with 1 out. And Colby Rasmus at third. And the Rockies are going to bring the infield about halfway. And Helton can come home with it, and out at the plate. Beautiful throw by Helton as he cuts down Rasmus on the hard shot off the bat of Descalso. And you go back to his days, George, at Tennessee when he was an outstanding pitcher. He is so accurate with a strong arm.
Well, very quick feet, and then he's mechanically sound, because when he gets behind the baseball, you don't have a tail. A lot of first basemen will drop their elbow, which creates a big tail. Todd stays right behind the ball and throws a perfect strike to Iannetta at the plate, which makes his job much easier now, as hard as that ball was hit. That's some arm strength from Todd Helton.
Here's Jake Westbrook at the plate, and he takes a strike.
Westbrook in his career is at 128 coming into this season. His average at 125 right now. He's got a couple of RBIs, 2 doubles in his career.
That's a fair ball. And Wigginton throws out Westbrook. In the inning, a leadoff single. Rasmus moved to third with one out, and a great throw by Helton prevented any further damage. Wow, it's raining gum. 1-0 St. Louis, bottom of the second inning. Who Wants Tacos fans? Remember, when the Rockies score 7 or more during any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 for your Rockies Tacos special.
So what dentist sponsored that?
Yeah.
Everybody grab some gum.
It's a neat shot, though. Troy Tulowitzki will lead off against Jake Westbrook, who had an easy 1-2-3 first inning. Tulowitzki at 245, 11 home runs and 30 RBIs, suffering through a most difficult month of May. And Tulowitzki at home this year, hitting just 234. This is Coors Field. And a hard sinker for a strike. Tulowitzki on the homestand, 2 for 12. And Troy got off to a fabulous start the first couple of weeks of the season. Tailed off the back end of April, but he still hit 298, 7 home runs, 17 driven in, but he's at 189 in the month of May, and today's the 27th.
One thing that kind of jumps out there in April, you see a little bit pickier about his strike zone. 14 walks, just 7 in May.
One and two. Rockies lost 6-3 last night. That's off the plate. 2 and 2. Westbrook on the hill, a 33-year-old. Three and 2. Rockies drafted him #1 in 1996, 21st overall pick. And ball 4, so Tulowitzki draws a walk, leading off the second inning, and that'll bring up Helton.
Well, you look back at the Rockies' first-round draft picks, dating back to Jamie Wright in '93, still with Seattle. And of course, Todd Helton, Westbrook, Francis, Tulowitzki, and Reynolds, and all these guys that are still in the big leagues dating back to those early '90 days. And again, if you're a first-round draft pick, you should be in the big leagues, but guys that are special like Helton and Wright, they've been doing it a long, long time.
Yes, Jamie, I think in Seattle to close a game or two recently.
Heavy sinker. I mean, you know, when guys start to get hurt, you don't have your closer. Archman was hurt there. They didn't have their closer for a while, and Jamie's a strike thrower. Understands the job, not going to be scared. He's going to throw strikes. You're going to beat him, but you're going to have to do it swinging the bat.
Chris Warren, the Rockies' advanced scout, and Jake Westbrook grew up playing baseball together, a lot of summer league baseball. Westbrook, his final 2 years of high school in Georgia, threw 6 no-hitters. High fly ball, it's going to be foul.
The difference in that pitch and a veteran guy on the mound, it's a sinker ball guy. He went to a four-seam fastball, which is going to have a truer run on the ball, and he put it in off the plate enough that if Helton jumps on it, it's going to get hit up into the foul territory. Versus a little more out on the plate, the ball may have been off the wall. They're going in again.
Westbrook, since coming to the National League, leads the National League in inducing ground balls about 75% of the time.
He's the Aaron Cook of the Cardinals. You're going to see 80% sinkers, occasional changeup and slider, but he's going to come at you to both sides of the plate with that heavy sinker.
Todd Helton, all he needs to do is glance out at Colby Rasmus in center field to understand how they're going to pitch it. Rasmus now walking a little bit toward a straight up position, but he was swung over about 15-20 feet toward right center field. That's a fair ball, and Pujols will tag Helton. Moving into scoring position is Tulowitzki. All season long, join us for Toyota Talk. Text your comments live during the game and see what you and fellow Rockies fans have on their mind about their favorite team. Well, maybe tonight, folks, you excited about seeing EY Jr. again.
I think he'd be excited just to see some offense. Hopefully he provides a little bit of that.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. Anybody, however, whatever it takes to see some offense from the Rockies, they'd be excited. Pulled in the hole, a base hit. Tulowitzki around third. Wigginton has tied up the baseball game. One as Ty Wigginton drives in his 13th of the year.
And I know one of the complaints Jose Lopez had was getting an opportunity to have consistent at-bats. He felt that really hampered his development here in the Rockies to show what he could do. Well, I think the same could be said for Ty Wigginton, who unfortunately had the injury, but you know, this is a guy that put up numbers wearing a Pittsburgh uniform, Baltimore, different ball clubs, playing in 130 to 140 ball games. So for him to be consistent, I think he's probably going to be at third base for a while. Nice to see that RBI. He's 13th of the season.
Spilborghs doesn't pull the trigger. It's in there for a strike. Well, George Wigginton, now with Lopez gone, at least in the near term, figures to get everyday playing time at third base.
And he should, to be honest with you. I mean, this is a guy you signed to come in. I know he's multiple talented when it comes to positions, but he can play third base and do an adequate or above adequate job for you.
One and one on Spilborghs. Ryan came in the ball game for Seth Smith late last night, and he drove in a run. He was 1 for 1. There goes Wigginton, a hit and run, and this is a chopper to short. Terrio just does get Spilborghs.
Well, you talk about doing things fundamentally sound there. Terrio charged the baseball, put his feet in a position that he needed to be to get rid of the baseball, and then the hands worked as if you were reacting to a double play ball and trying to turn it as a second baseman. He got rid of this ball very quickly. He charges, catches it on a good bounce, and then that's just that exchange from glove to hand was perfect, and a strong throw to Pujols.
Ionetta at 218, 5 home runs. He's driven in 15. Outside ball 1.
192 this year with runners in scoring position for Ionetta. Sure would like to try to change that here with a base hit. Try to get Wigington to the plate.
Chris has 26 hits this year, 27 walks. That's in there. So his on-base percentage of .369 is now second among National League catchers. This ball crushed left center field, and it is off the base of the wall. Wigington coming in to score. Ionetta with a double. It's 2-1 Colorado.
Now, I mentioned Chris's average not very high with the runners in scoring position, but with 2 outs a little bit higher, just under 200. Comes through with a big 2-out hit here to give the Rockies a 2-1 lead. Trying to work a slider down in a way that backs up to the middle of the plate. The velocity's right like you like it as a hitter. It's not going to get by you. It's not going to break under the bat. It becomes very hittable batting practice type pitch. And it's just ricocheted off that left center field fence.
Ubaldo looking for his first hit of the year. Now would be timely. 2-1 Rockies. One ball, one strike.
The Rockies would like to invite all their fans on Sunday versus the Cardinals for Military Appreciation Day. Arrive early for the celebration.
2-2. Now it's a full count on Jimenez. In the inning, the Rockies get a pair of runs. Tulowitzki's walk began it. Wigington an RBI hit. Ionetta an RBI double. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, moving forward. By AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. and by the Colorado Lottery. Don't forget to play. Well, the Rockies got 2 in the second to take a 2-1 lead. Ubaldo Jimenez will see the top of the Cardinal order. Theriot, John Jay, and Albert Pujols. Jay a double, Pujols an RBI single in the first. That's how St. Louis got on the board. Terrific Friday night crowd. Cardinals have always drawn well here in Denver. Pitch in there for a strike on Theriot. Again, the fastball, George, at 90.
Yeah, 90 miles an hour, but at least it strikes. 24 of the 33 pitches thrown in the game so far have been called strike.
It's a slider, and it misses away. And Theriot lines this thing to right. Long run for Spilborghs. It'll be in the corner. And Theriot has a leadoff double. A lot of quality swings here in the early going.
Well, everything's been away from him so far. Iannetta wants to continue that, but comes in, and he leaves it right out over the middle of the plate. Just an inside-out slicing swing to the ball and down into that right field corner. And for Spilborghs, you just got to stay back away from the wall. The worst thing you do is try to cut that off against the wall. If it gets by you, you're probably looking at an inside to Parker. The worst case, possibly a triple out of the deal.
Jay hit a slider to left center field for a double. Second straight inning that the Cardinals have a runner at second with nobody out. Jimenez able to get out of it last inning with help from Todd Helton. Threw a runner out at the plate. That's the first time he's touched 96 in the game. That's a splitter in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike. Theriot at second. And a ground ball, tough pickup. Wigginton did a nice job.
Really nice job.
Tulowitzki will circle behind him and cover his bag. 1 out.
Anytime you commit to baseball, he's even with the bag. It's a high chop. He's got to come get the baseball and ends up on the short hop. But relying, trusting on your hands allows you to make that play. A little short hop right into the glove, and Tulowitzki, nice job. He'd circle back behind him in case it got by, and then could cover up at third base for him.
So here's Pujols, an RBI base hit the other way on a 3-0 pitch. Pujols' lifetime now 3 for 13 against Jimenez. Pitch is fouled straight back. Again, Matt Holliday not in the lineup. He's got a quad issue, a left quad strain that's feeling better. Matt working out before the ball game. He did take batting practice. He's available to pinch hit.
He explained to you and me both when he made a comment up in their locker room. He said, why miss 6 weeks when I can just take 2 days off and be fine? And that's basically what he's doing.
Of course, earlier Matt had an appendectomy after the opening game of the season, and he returned very quickly from that. Albert lines it to center field. Eric Young's going to get there. They'll send the runner, and Pujols will have his second RBI, and it's a 2-2 ball game. Five hits already in the baseball game against Jimenez. He gave up just 2 in Milwaukee in 8 innings. Theriot getting congratulations. For Pujols, his 27th and 28th RBIs.
Yeah, 28 RBIs now. And interesting, Drew, a year ago on this same date, he still had 8 home run. So that's kind of strange. A lot of people make so much about the power, but now all of a sudden the hits are starting to fall. The average will start to climb. And with Eli being a second baseman, they took advantage of that at second base and sent him. Carrier froze on that at second. That was kind of strange for me.
Lance Berkman popped out his first time. First multi-RBI game for Pujols in 16 days. And the batting leaders right now, Berkman, Holiday, 1-2. Joey Votto, MVP last year, having an extraordinary year again. There's Starlin Castro. And the under-the-radar Placido Polanco of Philadelphia. 2-0 is in there. We talk about velocity, and we understand it's about where the ball is as it crosses the plate, late movement. But with Ubaldo, who has dramatic movement with his fastball, he's been the hardest thrower starting pitcher in the game the last 2 years, averaging 96.1 miles an hour. This year, he's averaged right at 93 miles an hour, 93.0. So he's down 3 miles an hour. And I'll tell you, George, you know this. When you're talking about above 95 versus, still a quality fastball, it makes a difference.
Well, you're riding in a car at 50, and you bump it up to 54, 55. You don't think that's a big deal. But when you're 60 feet away from that, and it's coming at you at 96, it's a big deal.
And this heats up Johnny Herrera. That would have been a double play. Here's Spielborg's throw. And safe at third is Albert Pujols. That was strange because Johnny Herrera is a great glove at second. It was hit hard. But it looked like a one-hopper right at him, and somehow Johnny didn't see it. And you have first and third, one out.
Yeah, last second kind of ducked out of the way of it. Spielborg's giving a look at Pujols. So he's saying about backhanding it, then it just shot by his glove as if he did lose it. I think he thought he had it right in the center of the glove. Pujols just stops at second base and as if to say, okay, go ahead and field it softly. I mean, that's just good base running. And he just outran the throw there.
Did that throw hit Pujols? Because I thought the throw was going to beat him there, George, from Spielborg's.
Take one look. Here it comes. Yeah, it sure does. Hits him right in the hip. And, Pujols is a smart runner. I've seen him do this before. Where the ball is hit, he'll go wide to the bag. Meaning if the fielder's out on his right hip, he'll try to get out a little wider, kind of block the vision. He'll watch the third baseman and where he's moving at the bag and try to step, with his strides in front of him to prevent a clean catch and tag.
Yeah, run to the glove. You do that in rundown. Teach you to do that. Alan Craig fouls it off. Saw it work last night for Chris Young in a rundown play. It's a base hit for Lance Berkman. Third hit in the inning. 0-2 count on Craig. Jimenez needs a double play ball or a punch out here with one gone. Not going to get either.
Now this club's hit 295 with runners in scoring position, meaning the St. Louis Cardinals.
They're getting a lot of quality hacks. They're not missing anything against Jimenez. And again, the velocity, he's flashed 96 once, a couple of 95s, but his velocity's down and the movement isn't real sharp. And you can see it in the swings of the St. Louis Cardinals, who have 7 hits with 1 out in the third.
Well, look where they're crowding, though. And I'd like to back that up and show it one more time to show, after you get through looking at this replay, of what Chris Ionetta's battling, Bob Apodaca, Jim Tracy battle right now with Ubaldo, and I think it's something too bad. I want to freeze this because what I want you to see is where Ionetta's setting up in here. So he's trying to jam a hitter. He's not trying to let him extend his arms, yet the ball's out here versus here. Folks, that's a foot miss. And with the foot miss, you're just giving him a chance to swing the bat and put wood on it when you don't have that explosive velocity. So it's great to have the velocity, but it's also puzzling to Bob Apodaca that doesn't have the ability right now to throw it where they want to consistently.
Colby Rasmus at the plate. He singled and stole a base last inning. John Jay, ground ball to third, the only out of the inning. Pick play. They get him. Yep. With daylight play, Tulowitzki applied the tag, and Berkman gets picked off.
Big plays like this help you cut down on innings, no question. In a ball game that you're trailing by 1, it's the snap throw and it's the strike. I mean, it is right on the money. Berkman, one step and dive. I mean, this is a great play again. We've seen the Rockies and the timing of Tulowitzki to get in behind the runners and apply the tag.
And another base hit. That pickoff saved a run. Berkman would have scored. Going first to third is Craig.
Well, 6 batters face 5 hits in this inning.
And listen, all sharply hit baseballs. This isn't a bleeder here and a bloop there.
And a tough out coming up. Talking about Molina, we mentioned earlier, I know he had a ground ball to second, but it was a dive up the middle for Johnny on a great play.
You got action in the Rockies bullpen in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, Greg Reynolds up throwing for the Rockies.
Four straight singles. Took a great play by Johnny Herrera. Otherwise, Molina would have had a hit in his last at bat. Jimenez with his head down walks off. He's frustrated. 3-2 Cardinals. Cardinals 3, the Rockies 2. 3 runs, 8 hits allowed already by Ubaldo. Today's minor league report is presented by Suzuki Auto's all-wheel drive lineup. Suzuki, the power of engineering. Aaron Cook will go tomorrow in Colorado Springs. And then after that start, a couple days from now on the 30th, he's due to come off the 60-day disabled list. Eric Young Jr. takes a strike. Tim Wheeler continues to tear it up in your hometown, George. 3 for 4, a couple of bombs last night. Parker Frazier, I know him.
Yeah.
He threw the ball really well.
Threw the ball well last night. Difficult place to play. The Nuts put up 19 runs on them. And they did that a lot. 30-mile-an-hour winds dead center. But yeah, Parker comes up 3 hits, did a nice job, struck out 5 yesterday.
And this ball up the middle, a base hit. And E.Y. Jr. aboard leading off the 3rd, and now the cat and mouse game will begin for Jake Westbrook.
Yeah, Molina's typically a high percentage guy at throwing runners out, but He has struggled a little bit this year. Nice job of hitting by EY. He went down and got the pitch and just kept it on the ground, and that's what he needs to do to utilize his speed. Line drives and fly balls are not something he needs to practice. He needs practice putting the top half of that baseball on the bottom half of that bat and run.
And Johnny Herrera, who's very patient at the plate, an ideal two-hole hitter. That's the ball. Junior down in Colorado Springs, 17 of 18 stealing bases.
Well, that's the reason he's up here, Drew, is to add some spark to the top of that lineup. Get on base, steal a base, get in scoring position. We mentioned in the open, ducks on the pond. And I think he's become a better base stealer than he was a year ago, and even the year before. You know, when he was brought up that first time, a lot of teams picked on him a little bit with his leads. Doesn't hurt to have somebody like EY Sr. as your dad to help you through this.
Herrera was not bunting to move the runner along. That's a byproduct of that. He was bunting for a hit there. So with one out, here's Junior at second base. Windshield damage, call Safelite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelite.com. It will be scored a sacrifice. So Carlos Gonzalez, who hit a comebacker, steps up. Gonzalez 0 for 4 lifetime against Westbrook, who beat the Rockies last October. Shut him out in that final series of the season. That's in 2-0. Cargo has a 6-game hitting streak going. He's slugging .590 in the month of May. He's got 7 home runs, driven in 17 in May. And a base hit the other way. And this is going to tie up the baseball game. Jay's going to hit the cutoff man. Carlos Gonzalez has driven in his 32nd run. And the speed of EY pays off.
And a big important thing, just getting on base, leading off an inning. That's what really paid big dividends here for the Rockies. This ball to the opposite field. Didn't try to pull that sinker. Went with it and just shot it between short and third. Strong throw, but not strong enough to even contest EY scoring.
Carlos Gonzalez visiting with one of his idols, Albert Pujols. Tulowitzki at the plate, tied at 3. And Tulo drives it to left. Jay lays out, but he trapped the baseball. And it's runners at first and second. Good call by the third base umpire, Paul Nauert. He got out and saw it well.
Trying to go down and away sinker, and it ran back and about belt high to Tulowitzki. Jay comes in and see, hopped right in front of the glove. Trapped this. A little bit surprised he came after it that aggressively.
Strike one on Helton. Todd hit a chopper to Pujols his first time up. 1 out. Helton was on base 3 times last night, 1 for 2 and a pair of walks. Hitting .333 against righties. Molina keeps it around.
Molina does a very good job of blocking the ball, not allowing the ball to get by him, containing the running game.
On the corner, 2-2. See the runners in scoring position note on Helt. Dexter Fowler actually leading the club, hitting with runners in scoring position. Outside 3-2. Third on the team is the guy at second base, Carlos Gonzalez, who with that last RBI, even though he hasn't gotten off to a great start, he's 8th in the league in ribbies with 32. 3-2. And the runners take off. Ball 4. And now they're loaded up for Ty Wigginton. So Jim Tracy going to stay out of a potential double play. Had his athletes aboard, and Gonzalez and Tulowitzki put him in motion. A moot point, though, is the pitch missed to Helton, and here comes Dave Duncan to the mound.
Well, it's all about process and what you're doing, throwing strikes, and that's one thing Duncan preaches about his pitchers. It's not velocity, it's strikes, it's location. And obviously Westbrook has gotten off his mark on 3 straight. This is where Dave Duncan has kind of a calming influence on you, and he's talking an awful lot to your shortstop. I kind of contain, hold the leads there. But in the meantime, he's relaying to Westbrook about where you need to pitch Ty Wigginton, and this is the perfect guy for double play ball.
This replay brought to you by the Colorado Lottery. Ty Wigginton in the second inning rips the ball through the hole to drive in a run. Tulowitzki coming around. Don't forget to buy your bonus millionaire raffle tickets before the next bonus drawing on May 29th. ColoradoLottery.com. And Wigginton takes ball 1. You know, the Rockies' dormant offense has come to life here in the second and third inning. And a chance to do significant damage. 1 out, and they're jammed up for Wigginton. One ball and 1 strike. Cargo singled in a run. He's at third. Tulowitzki behind him singled. And Todd Helton's at first. He just walked. This is the 6th time Westbrook's had a bases loaded situation this year. The opposition 4 for 5 against him. Good pitch, 1-2.
Now, some of that, obviously, the history early on, he had not pitched well with runners in scoring position. I think that's why you saw the big number of right-handers in their average.
Boy, they're bunching the gaps for Tony La Russa. John Jay's in left center field. His right fielder, Lance Berkman, is in right center. I mean, they're 60 yards from the line. Those aren't good numbers from Westbrook's perspective.
Not for a sinker ball guy. That's what's surprising about it.
He went around.
Yep, sure did. He got fooled on a big time sinker under his hands. Tried to hesitate, could not do it.
3rd strikeout. It'll be left to Ryan Spilborghs.
Now watch where this sinker, I mean, this is, you talk about getting on top and getting some rotation and downward move, late run. Starts out about thigh high, and then that run down to about that back knee area made it difficult for Wigginton to be able to handle the pitch.
The Rockies now 7 for 34 with the bases loaded this year. Spilborghs grounded to short. Big chopper his first time. Ryan's been swinging the bat well. 4-game hitting streak. He hasn't gotten starts in all those games. 4 for his last 9 now. This ball, a ground ball to Terrio. Westbrook claps his hands as he jogs off. He got out of a pickle there, though the Rockies tied it up 3 apiece. Three-3 ball game as we go to the top of the 4th inning. Time to check in again with Mark Stout. He's got tonight's Fast Cash sideline report brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers. And more for your gold. I tried to read that, Mark, as fast as I could.
That's Fast Cash.
That's Fast Cash.
Let's talk about the new look Rockies, guys, because this roster has changed over the last couple of weeks. Ian Stewart back at AAA, of course. Other names on this list you see. Franklin Morales now pitching for the Red Sox. Felipe Paulino, they designated him and eventually traded him to Kansas City. And the latest, Jose Lopez, yesterday. Of course, he was designated. Eric Young Jr. is up. So the changes are going to keep happening until things kind of click with this club. Guys?
This ball sharply hit, but Descalso is a line-out victim as Johnny Herrera makes the catch. 1 out.
2 different times, Johnny's been able to make a play here and take care of business. With Descalso up, I mean, this ball's going to get hit very hard. Sinking line drive, not easy to handle.
The first pitch missed to Jake Westbrook. He grounded a third his first time. Two and two. Cardinals have won 8 of 10. And for every team that has suffered a major injury, and now the Rockies and San Francisco Giants are in that group, you don't need to look any further than the St. Louis Cardinals for inspiration. They lost Adam Wainwright in the spring to Tommy John surgery.
Well, that Pujols is not doing what he has typically done in the past. Matt Holliday's missed 10 days with different injuries.
And yet there they are, George, coming into the contest 30 and 21, 2.5 up in the National League Central.
And really, when they started the season, Franklin was going to be their closer, and he only has 1 save on the season right now. And they had to go dip down into the minor league level and bring up Salas, who is now their closer with 8 saves. They got a hard-throwing young right-hander in Sanchez that comes out of their bullpen that has a couple of saves.
Jake Westbrook wasted pitches. Menez going to have to throw 7 or 8 here at least to get Westbrook, who's a light hitting pitcher. This is out of play, and again, George, it comes back to a frequent conversation we've had this year. The fastball does not explode at the plate. It's You know, it's
pretty
90,
true out of the
93
hand.
instead of, you know, 95 to 100, which is where he's been the last couple of years, really, since he's come up. This is a pitcher getting pretty good hacks on him.
Well, it's also the 3 sliders he's thrown in the game. 2 have been hit, and they were up and flat. And he's a guy that typically can really drive the pitch down in the zone, and he's going to walk Westbrook, much like John Neese of the New York Mets, where a couple of walks resulted in runs.
It's not only the walk. You're talking about an 11 pitch at bat. He just took he took a bunch of pitches out of Jimenez's arm right there, and he goes to first. He wins the battle.
Just more decisions, difficult decisions for Jim Tracy.
Terrio fouls it off. There's been traffic in every inning for Jimenez. And the Rockies last inning got a run, but they left the bases loaded. Double play ball. 4-6-3 on the turn, and the Rockies and Cardinals in the middle of 4 are tied at 3. As we go to the bottom of the 4th inning, let's take a look at our AT&T trivia question on a Friday night at the ballpark. Who are the 4 switch hitters with more home runs than Lance Berkman, who are active? No, who are not active. Excuse me. Nobody would be. They could be active. Berkman's got too many home runs. He's 5th all time in home runs among switch hitters. Name the 4 in front of him. That's how great a career Berkman's had. Iannetta had a booming double in his first at bat to drive in a run. And he takes strike 1. This replay brought to you by the Colorado Lottery. Don't forget to buy your bonus millionaire raffle tickets before the next bonus drawing on the 29th of May. See, that's a booming double, George, when you hit it 420
That's
feet.
long far, that real far, that means it's booming.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You got it?
Never experienced that.
2-2. Three and 2.
Very nice day at the yard. Have a little Dippin' Dots. Sit back and watch a good baseball game on a beautiful, beautiful night in Colorado. Oh, favorite Dippin' Dots. You kidding me?
That's a fair ball. And a good strong throw by the third baseman, Descalso. Reminder coming up, Toyota Talk. Your thoughts on Eric Young Jr. being called back to the big leagues. We'll do that in the 6th inning, top half of. Baldo Jimenez struck out his first time on a 3-2 pitch. And 0-2. Jake Westbrook had a great 3-year run in Cleveland, 04, 05, 06. He won 44 games between those 3 years. Last year between Cleveland and St. Louis, he went 10-11. Much better in the National League than he was in the American League. 4 punch-outs for Westbrook. He was an all-star in 2004. Eric Young Jr. Ground ball to short and then a base hit up the middle last inning, and he would come around to score on a Carlos Gonzalez single. Lays down a bunt, and if it stays fair, which it won't, Albert Pujols didn't even come hard. He said, you know what, it's going to go foul, I'm going to pick it up, or it's going to stay fair, I'm going to pick it up and say hello to Eric Young. That's about his 2 options.
That was all you could do with it. The other option would be go to the Mountain Ranch Club. You know what you can do up there other than broadcast a game and eat a lot of food like you and Jeff did the other night.
You noticed, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I did. You know what? You can upgrade your game experience. Go to the Mountain Club Ranch. Includes credit for food and beverage. You looked a little hefty when I showed up today.
Yeah, you were sitting back there in Tulsa jealous. That's about where we were. 3 rows up. This ball lined the other way, foul. See that they're at our table right now. Inside, good eye, 1 and 2. Saved you some dessert, George. It's in
No, you didn't.
the refrigerator.
What is it? Strawberry shortcake? No. I don't think
2 and 2. It's that peach cobbler.
So you know what? That's a pitch EY would probably jump on a year ago. Probably would have swung at that pitch down and in. Now you can see. And again, he's really drastically, for me, changed his stance a lot. See what I'm talking about? A little bit of a bent leg here, stiff front leg, and then just rocks back and loads on that back leg. And then what he's tried to do, and I haven't talked to EY, is just watching the swing. Because of his stance and where his hands are located for me. See how everything's just kind of loading right back here? Watch, it's more of just a hand swing. Now he's strong. He can still drive the ball into the gap and do those kind of things. But it's a controlled swing. You don't see him spinning around. You don't see him doing some of the things he was doing a year ago. What you see is a very controlled swing at the baseball.
Wearing out Westbrook here. 3 and 2 count.
Their hands are really quiet.
Yeah, everything's quiet, George. I mean, that's a great description of what he's doing. I mean, he's just rocking up on that front foot. There's no movement with the front foot. And it's chopped back to the mound. Westbrook's going to get him. The 1, 2, 3, 4th inning. We're off to inning number 5 at 20th and Blake. Cards 3, Rocks 3. Road Ahead brought to you by E470. Find E470 on Facebook for details on how to win free tolls. Cards are in here tomorrow and Sunday, and then the Rockies begin a long West Coast swing. The Dodgers, the Giants, the Padres. Tomorrow's game we won't have. It'll be a nationally televised game. Most of the country will get to see the Rockies and Cardinals on Fox tomorrow. Breaking balls in there for a strike. My partner's doing the game, kind of a split crew.
Yeah,
Dan McLaughlin,
yep.
My counterpart on the Cardinals side, will be working with Georgie.
Yep, looking forward to doing the ball game tomorrow. Pretty good coverage throughout the United States. So they can look at the Rockies and Cardinals, two teams, hopefully play well.
The Rockies going to see another tough pitcher tomorrow, George, and Jaime Garcia.
They tell me, I mean, scouts tell me this, they think he'll be the next guy to throw a no-hitter. His stuff is nasty, and it's really lives off the fastball. He cuts it, he sinks it. Now, would you think Westbrook would have 4 strikeouts and Jimenez 1 in this game? Honestly.
Well, not going in.
2.
Well, it's 2 now. Not going in, but what we've seen from Ubaldo today has been, less dominant, more contact-like.
Well, contact with a lot of base hits. There's a split, pretty good split there that he threw for strike 3. Jay's got a lot of those hand movements, kind of timing and wrapping the bat. Got out in front, didn't get a good swing on it.
Here's Pujols, and he takes a fastball at 95 down and away. Let's take a look at Albert's night so far. First time he came up, a 3-0 pitch. He scorched it the other way, an RBI single. And then his next time up, another RBI base hit. Back live, Rockies will get him here, Herrera. Two outs, Lance Berkman will come up.
Looking at a pitch down and away, you can see his swing, almost an inside-out swing. Typically, he was a guy on a ball down and in. He'd try to turn on that pitch. Elbow, back elbow, really dropping close to the body, changing the angle of the bat, creating that ball to the right side.
Looping curveball, and that wasn't close. Ball 1. Show you an interesting graphic about two guys who are very good friends and have been outstanding players in the league, where they were a year ago at this time. Berkman, 243, 5 home runs in Houston, and Todd Helton, 275, 1 home run, 9 RBIs. Helton now 6-22, a 307 average, and Berkman's leading the National League at 352, among the league leaders with 11 home runs and 36 driven in.
Pretty amazing, isn't it?
You know, the Yankees had him in the postseason last year. And he swung the bat fairly well in the postseason last year. 3-2. He's a native of Houston. And I think if he had his druthers, he would have liked to have gone back there. They had no interest. Little did they know what they are missing.
I think, too, he's in a lot better shape than he was there at the start of the year. I'm talking about legs. His legs are in a lot better shape, which obviously are going to got him there. I like it.
1-2-3 inning, the first of the night for Jimenez. Middle of 5, the Rockies and Cardinals tied at 3. Changeup got him. Cardinals 3, Rockies 3, and at the plate is Johnny Herrera taking strike 1. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Mark Stout at the ballpark tonight. Carlos Gonzalez is on deck. And this is a ground ball to Pujols. 1 out. Let's take a look at our Geico quote of the day from the quotable Tim McCarver. Very good baseball player turned broadcaster. Bob Gibson's the luckiest pitcher I ever saw. He always pitches when the other team doesn't score any runs. McCarver had many great lines about George Frazier's boyhood idol, Bob Gibson. One of my favorites was Gibson had a couple of hitters in a row that reached, fell behind the count. Here's Cargo. So McCarver started walking out to the mound, and he didn't get more than halfway out. And Gibson said, "Where are you going? The only thing you know about hitting is pitching is it's tough to hit." Yeah. He did it 180, went right back behind the plate.
Back set down. That's a little bit of Tim McCarver coming out a little bit like Bob Uecker when he was wearing the Cardinal uniform, joking an awful lot, but he had the privilege of really catching somebody like a Bob Gibson that's obviously very good.
Our colleague Mike Shannon, legend of St. Louis. This ball's hit a long way foul. He had a great line about playing third behind Gibson in the 60s. He said, "Oh, it's easy." He said, "All I had to do was catch it after the strikeout and throw it around the infield."
Yeah, just that's all.
Catch it again and flip it to Gibby.
Yeah, here you go. Do that again, will you?
2-2. There's Mike.
Still working in the broadcast booth, working very hard in the broadcast booth. Just one of those guys that loves to fish, loves to hunt. Got a great restaurant in the St. Louis area, Shannon's.
Yeah, right downtown, right
next
near
to
the
the
ballpark.
Yeah, he's expanded it. His lovely daughter runs it. His kids for a while. One of them played football at USC as a defensive back, and had another son that played a little bit of baseball and went to Missouri. So he went to work for Anheuser-Busch in promotions with their race team in Indy 500 cars.
2 outs. Tulowitzki coming up. Support the boys and girls clubs of Metro Denver. Enter the Denver Dream House raffle to have a chance to win a $1.2 million Washington Park Dream Home or $1 million in cash. Plus, there are more than 320 prizes, including a shot at a Toyota Prius and European and Hawaiian vacations when you buy 2 or more tickets. The deadline is approaching. It's coming up on June 3rd. So visit milehighraffle.com. That's milehighraffle.com to enter today and help support the boys and girls clubs of Metro Denver. 1-0 on Tulowitzki. Troy a walk and a single tonight. Two and one. Colby Rasmus over in right center field for Tulowitzki. And a slow roller to third. 1-2-3 inning for Jimenez, and then a 1-2-3 inning to match it by Westbrook. We'll go to the 6th. Alan Craig will lead it off. Cell Energy high efficiency inning. How about the 5th inning for Ubaldo? He strikes out John Jay on a splitter. And then Albert Pujols, ground ball to the right side. Herrera would throw him out. And a changeup on a 3-2 pitch froze Lance Berkman. That's brought to you by Cell Energy. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save energy and money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. Tony La Russa, as Alan Craig comes up, George, is a master at doing this. If you can swing the bat, he will be very creative in how to get you on the field. You know, he did it with Skip Schumacher, made him a second baseman, more of an outfielder. That's a base hit for Alan Craig. Well, Craig can swing the bat. He's an outfielder, and they've played him a lot at second and some at third this year. Is it a perfect fit? No, it's far from that, but you get the bat in the lineup.
Well, here's the key, I think, to when Tony makes those transformations, and that is the fact that Green's going to run for Greg here. I guess defensive now in the 6th. This doesn't make a lot of sense to me unless he hurt something.
Yeah, that is a little strange. You usually see that defensively when you're on the plus side in the 7th inning, that sort of thing. But Tony's saying, all right, I got Craig and another at bat. Now we're going to get him out of there. And he's got Tyler Green, who leads the club at stolen bases. So again, that Tony does the unconventional. It's worked out, obviously. He's one of the all-time managers, 3rd most wins in the history of the game.
2,668 of those. He's lost 2,314. A lot of people like to question it because sometimes he just does things that's not by the book or on the norm, but he always seems to come up on the winning side.
Rasmus, a pair of singles tonight. Outside. It's a fastball at 89. This ball well hit. EY trying to get there. Green around 3rd. He'll score easily. Heading to 3rd. And the throw is not in time. It's a triple for Rasmus. You know what? The Cardinals lead 4-3.
I think maybe that it was on. The throw was there. That was just a great slide by Colby Rasmus. You talk about a guy 0 for 18. He shows up tonight. He's 3 for 3. After being 0 for 18 coming into this series. A little authority hit with this baseball out into left center field. Out of the reach of EY as they got against the wall out here. EY's got to try to recover the baseball as quickly as you can to get it back to the strongest arm. And then Colby Rasmus looking. I never understood this today. Why is he looking out there? Look at your third base coach. It's a good call. He is safe.
Nobody out. Yadier Molina at the plate. And the Rockies are playing it back right now with nobody out. With 1 out, they'll bring the infield in. 10 hits now for the Cardinals. Action again in the Rockies bullpen upcoming, it looks like. Guys stretching and moving around.
Reynolds down. Matt Lindstrom with the towel, starting to stretch and move around. Jimmy Wright getting the baseballs ready. To phone rings when it happens. We off to the races to get ready.
Greg Reynolds was up in the 3rd inning. And the Cardinals got a couple of runs and had 5 hits in the inning. And this will get the run home. Surprised the Rockies didn't play the infield
maybe a little bit.
Nobody out.
Yeah, I mean, you got a guy swings the bat a little bit, a guy that's a professional hitter. I mean, as it works out, it's easy to sit up here and go, I looked out and I kind of puzzled, shaking my hand. Would it be in? Would it be back? And they're back. Just kind of thinking in my own mind, You kind of gamble here. Do you gamble in the 6th inning with your infield in to try to cut that run down? It worked earlier on that shot right at Helton. They were able to cut the run down early in the game. Instead, the Cardinals have stuck a 2 spot up pretty quick.
Descalso's 0 for 2. Well, it's a place, George, and Molina's tough to strike out. Year in and year out, he's a guy who gets the bat on the board, on the ball. He's not a guy that runs the punch out totals up. Benji was like that also, but still, I mean, if Ubaldo's right, you have a chance at a punch out, and then you're going to bring the infield in, I'm sure, with 1 out. Especially with the 8-hole hitter Descalso coming up. 2-2. But Ubaldo has just 3 punch outs in the ball game. Matt Daly is thrown. Is EY faster than Dex running the bases? That'd be close underway. This ball is down the right field line in the corner. Fair by about 20 feet, and this may be a triple also. Nope, he's going to stop at second. Descalso with the 11th Cardinal hit. I guess we're finding out why they're leading the league in hitting, coming in at 281.
Yeah, they swung the bat really well. Not that poor of a pitch from Ubaldo. Look how he goes down and gets this pitch. I tell you, everybody in that Cardinal dugout watching this youngster really come into his own, start to swing the bat and get big hits. You know, Matt Holliday has stepped out, so I guess that's Westbrook to be done for the day.
So again, and for me, George, this is unconventional also from Tony La Russa's standpoint. You got one of the top hitters in the game on your bench. Why use him here in the 6th inning?
Well, I guess with a runner in scoring position, he's trying to add to the lead of 2 right now with Holliday up at the plate.
You could go with Schumacher on the bench.
Well, Matt Holliday has pinch hit more than anybody on their roster. He's 2 for 2. Excuse me, 2 for 12 with 2 home runs. Both hits have been a home run.
Well, Matt's had an extraordinary year. He's batting .349 coming in. He was leading the league most of the year. Just got passed the other day by his teammate Lance Berkman. His road average just under .370. Number 1. His on base percentage, go ahead RBIs. You know the damage he's done at Coors Field. Matt's average with the Rockies of .319 is the 3rd highest ever. He had 128 home runs, 6th best in a Rockies uniform, and he drove in 483, also 6th best. And so the Rockies aren't even going to bother pitching to him. They're going to put him on.
So it's definitely a waste.
It
kind of ends up being a wasted at bat.
And you know, if Tony, you know, we'll see how he plays it. He may have somebody run a pitcher perhaps.
Well, he's only down to 3 extra men now.
Well,
he's got to be careful
for Holliday because he's got that quad issue.
Yeah. Run a pitcher down there, an athletic pitcher, and let him run the bases.
Loesch is going on Sunday.
Yeah, he's going to go run right now.
He'd be the likely guy, and here he comes. So Matt Holliday intentionally passed. With 2 on, and Terrio will come up. High fives all around. Matt, that's outstanding.
You watched it go by really good. Yeah. Yeah, when you had 87 home runs and you hit .358 in your career at Coors Field, not surprising they walked. I got to correct myself. Jay was the guy that was the pinch hitter, 2 for 12. Bifocals got me again. Holiday, his first pinch hit appearance. So you know what I should have known better when I read that the first time, because I'm thinking, it's a lot of pinch hitting.
Two 2-0, Ontario, 1 for 3. A double in the third. Two and 1. Three game entering the inning, and it's now a 5-3 Cardinal lead. This is looped to right. It's going to drop, and they're going to send the runner on Spilborg. Spilborg's throw right on line. Good slide. Oh, he got him. Great tag by Iannetta to get Descalso. Despite the creative slide, Ryan Spilborg cuts him down at the plate. Both runners move up. So it'll be second and third with 2 outs. The score remains 5-3. Jose Akendo sends Daniel Descalso.
Now, when you got a lead, you can go ahead and kind of force the issue a little bit. Spilborg stayed right behind it. True run of the ball, right in perfect line. Descalso doesn't think the tag was applied in time. They're saying he got him on the back of the shoulder. I'm not sure, to be honest with you, that Doug Eddings was in the right position to make the call.
I don't think he got him, at least from that angle. See if we have a different angle.
Freeze it. Hand hadn't touched. Hand got him. Well, I say got him. Maybe he did. It was close.
I'm still not sure. 0-2 on Jay. The 12 hits allowed by Ubaldo, a career high. And this gets away. And another run will score. On a wild pitch by Jimenez, Kyle Loesch, starting pitcher on Sunday, comes barreling home. 6-3 St. Louis.
Yeah, and you know that Tony and Dave Duncan both probably cringing about right now, and it's shot away, and he just took off on his own. They don't get hurt, either one of these guys, Ubaldo Jimenez or Kyle Loesch. When you see a pitcher standing straddling the plate like you're supposed to, you're fortunate both those guys walked away, but unfortunate now it's a 6-3 ball game.
One and 2 on Jay. Strike 3. Pitch number 100, probably the last for Jimenez tonight. 6-3 Cardinals. They got 3 in the top of the 6th. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Colorado Hyundai. Don't miss Hyundai Season to Save going on now at your Colorado Hyundai dealers. By the Colorado Lottery, don't forget to play. And by the Courtyard by Marriott on the 16th Street Mall. Ask about our hometown sports package. Well, as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, the Cardinals are leading 6-3. Ubaldo Jimenez, 6 runs on a career worst 12 hits allowed. And Westbrook is out of there. Miguel Batista, the ageless one, is on for the Cardinals in 18 appearances now.
Yeah, he's been outstanding.
Good.
Yeah, he has been outstanding. Still throwing 90 to 95 miles an hour, a mixture of pitches. A guy that has been in a starting rotation for many teams. But here working out of the bullpen, 2.45 ERA, opponent average. And it's just right up Tony La Russa's, and I hope I jinx him a little bit here, but he's right up Tony's alley when it comes to a strike thrower coming out of the bullpen.
So Westbrook gives up 3 runs on 5 hits. All the runs and hits came in 2 innings, the 2nd and 3rd. Otherwise, Westbrook worked 1, 2, 3 innings in the 1st, 4th, and 5th. I mean, he had a dominant inning in the 5th, George.
So I was a little surprised that Tony went ahead and did that, but it resulted somehow as a run.
Yeah, I mean, Holiday pinch hit. The Rockies walked him. So Westbrook out of there, and Batista.
Yeah, Batista's pitched a lot of games. You got to go back when he was with the Arizona Diamondbacks.
This is off the end of the bat. Helton retired. 1 out, and that'll bring up Ty Wigginton. Let's take a look at our AT&T trivia question. Did you name the 4 switch hitters with more home runs than Lance Berkman?
Mickey Mantle,
Chili Davis, Chipper Jones, Eddie Murray. The guy that everybody forgets for me, George, is Chili Davis. Chili Davis was a heck of a player.
Big time player. Matter of fact, is a very good hitting coach.
That's another fly ball to center field. Wigginton is retired.
Did Chili Davis interview for the hitting coach's job here 2 or 3 years ago? After he retired from baseball, been working in the minor league level.
Great baseball name.
Chili or Davis?
Both. It's been a lot of good Davises. Not as many good Chilies, unless you were dying.
Right. Well, I know some pretty good Chilies around.
Spielborgs is 0 for 2. Hit the ball to short twice. Another night where the Rockies are going to try to play catch up. Fell behind 1-0, took a 2-1 lead. It was a brief lead because after taking that lead in the bottom of the 2nd, the Cardinals got 2 off Jimenez in the top of the 3rd. Rockies tied it with a run in the bottom of the 3rd. Goose egg since then. And now there's 2 outs and nobody on for Spielborgs. Matt Daly continuing to throw, which means he's going to come in the baseball game. Boy, George, you're a pitching former pitcher.
Well,
you do a lot.
tough.
You do a lot of teaching. I can't.
Hey.
You know, can you figure out what's going on with Jimenez? He was much better in his last outing.
Well, that's why everybody keeps asking him the question: are you hurt? I mean, people within the Rocky organization, are you hurt? Is your arm hurt? And the answer has always been no. I feel great. Everything's fine. But yet you're not seeing a consistent velocity that you saw before. Green kind of collides in with Berkman out in right field. You all right, buddy? Good. Let's go back in the dugout. Pretty
1,
easy
2,
inning for
3
Batista.
inning, yeah, for Miguel Batista. 6-3 St. Louis. Toward the plate. Nice tag by Chris Iannetta. He's been busy at the plate tonight. Spielborg's his first outfield assist of the year. Helped threw a guy out at the plate also tonight. It's brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. New pitcher for the Rockies in the 7th. It'll be Matt Daly. He's been very solid since returning to the big leagues from Colorado Springs. Albert Pujols, Lance Berkman, and Tyler Green.
Well, he's healthy again. I think that's the biggest key. He's not walking people, ground ball hits, not the ball up in the zone. He's thrown 4 innings, struck out 5 so far. And the opposition kicking it around at 214. Those are all great numbers. He'll have Albert Pujols to start the 7th inning.
And George, the string will continue for Ubaldo Jimenez. His last win was September 17th of last year.
For him to come up with a W, you're right. I mean, it's been very difficult. Time for everybody to watch and go through. You know, actually, that misery actually started at the start of the 2nd half. He won his 15th game against the Cardinals in their first meeting against St. Louis on July 8th. Here was his 15th win a year ago. You know, Westbrook got it started, and Batista kind of finished it up. 11 straight Rockies retired since they've scored the 1 run back in the. I'll tell you what, just kind of strike after strike's what they've been operating with. Westbrook started getting early swings and outs.
The line on Ubaldo, 6 innings. He allowed 6 runs, all of the runs earned, 12 hits, again a career high allowed. He walked only 2. One of them was intentional, and he struck out just 4. Good pitch there. It's 2-2 on Pujols. Albert spent most of spring training talking about, or prior to spring training, really talking about his contract situation and the negotiations between his representatives and the St. Louis Cardinals, and he has said, stuck to that as far as we know, that he would not negotiate during the season. And of course, he gets asked periodically, is it affecting your performance right now with his average way down? And he swears it's not. I don't know, George, how it can't affect him in some way.
I don't know. If you make 15, 16 million a year for the last 10 years, it's probably not going to affect me a whole lot.
Yeah, well, it's not going to affect his buying power.
But you know but my point is that, you know, that probably the one thing that is affecting him is, I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, a place where I've raised my family. I'm part of the community. I'm on numerous charitable causes. He chased a bad slider there. And it tells you not seeing it. Good pitch by Matt Daly. But my point is, you know, he's involved. I mean, he's a part of that community of St. Louis. And I think he feels like it'll get worked out. And listen, you look at his career numbers, and then you match it next to A-Rod, and A-Rod's making $32 million. I mean, I can see where he wants to be in that neighborhood. Now it's a matter of whether they can just come up with it or not. That's a lonely neighborhood. There's only one or two guys live in that neighborhood.
Well, it's a lonely neighborhood, but it's probably a pretty good neighborhood to live in.
That's nice houses.
Yeah.
House.
Well, plural. 1-0 on Lance Berkman. On Berkman. Talk about a fixture in a community. I mean, this is a guy who grew up in the Houston area, big star at Rice, big star with the Astros, and now he finds himself in St. Louis. Ball 4. So Daly on 4 pitches walks Berkman. Let's check in with Mark Stout. Mark?
George, you've been talking about how no Matt Holliday tonight, and it has made a difference up until this evening without number 7 in the lineup, because when he starts, the Cardinals 10 games over 500, and when he's not in the starting lineup, they're under 500. Also, they're averaging over 5 runs a game when Holliday starts, and only 2.5 without him. But tonight, obviously, they've got 6 runs on the board. 5 of his 8 home runs have come when he's a starter, 23 ribbies. But it's a little bit of a different situation tonight as Berkman walks, guys.
Tyler Green trying to bunt his way on. Look out. Daly nearly collided with Wigginton. It's going to go as a hit.
Such a dangerous play because, you know, you have crowd noise, you have everybody not yelling who's got it, who's not got it. It's kind of no man's land. And realistically, as a pitcher, you're going after this thing till somebody calls you off. One easy little glance, he saw Wigginton back, and Daly takes off. Great effort. Wigginton did the right thing, sliding to prevent any kind of collision with Daly.
Tell you what, the Cardinals tonight, Georgia, put on a hitting clinic in terms of line drive after line drive, and then they've been creative. Green first at bat. It wasn't a picture perfect bunt because he got it way up in the air, but they have 13 hits. They've stolen a base. They've been aggressive running the base pass. Had a couple guys thrown out at the plate, but and look at this. On cue, down the right field line for Rasmus, who's 4 for 4. 2 runs are going to score, and Rasmus is going to have his second triple of the night. And it is 8-3 St. Louis. Colby Rasmus, his bat had the flu, George, entering the contest. Took some penicillin, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. What happened? Here's a ball inside corner to Rasmus. He just opens up that inner half, gets the head of the bat out, and then it's just off to the races. He can run. You mentioned second triple in the ball game for him. Spielborg's waited for that ball to come off and then went down to a knee to block it to further keep him running around the wall. Not before 2 runs came in, 2 RBIs, 17 on the night now.
Yadier Molina with the infield in. I'll tell you who may make his major league debut before this evening is over. That's
Bruce Billings.
Young man down in the bullpen, Bruce Billings. Unfortunately, and I say that not to take anything away from Bruce Billings, but that's the way this game is headed in the late innings, unless the Rockies can make a run. The next couple of at-bats. There's Billings to the right of Jimmy Wright. No, it's Betancourt, excuse me. Rasmus at third, 3 ribbies tonight, 4 for 4.
There's Bruce. Pop back up. Bruce in spring training. Teammate of Matt Reynolds in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
And this is driven to center field. EY is going to catch it. Rasmus will jog home. And it's 9-3 St. Louis for Molina. His 23rd RBI, his second of the night. Well, this was a 3-3 game, George. Just a couple of innings ago.
Yep.
And it's turned into an old-fashioned you-know-what.
Stuff that happens out behind the barn?
Yes.
Okay.
Daniel Descalso. He's got a double in 3 trips tonight. Looking down this lineup, George, the only player without a hit is, other than the pitcher spot, is Molina. But Molina's driven in 2, an RBI ground out and the sac fly. And Bruce Billings is going to make his big league debut, it looks like, at some point here. It'll be next inning. 0-2 count with 2 outs on Descalso. The Rockies are 2-7 their last 9 ball games, yet their team ERA, George, excuse me, their rotation ERA during the last 9 games is 2.91. I've never seen a run like that where your pitchers, your starting pitchers, are throwing up great numbers. 2.91 ERA over 9 games. You usually say, hey, and the club is 7-2.
Right.
Not 2-7.
No.
Tonight you have a hiccup. There's a strikeout for Daly. He gives up 3 in the inning. Tonight you have a hiccup on the mound, but still not a lot of offense. Just 3 runs again. Take a look at our Cooney Lexus look back. In the second inning, base hit for Ty Wigginton would get the Rockies on the board. And then an RBI double gave the Rockies a 2-1 lead. That off the bat of Chris Iannetta. Third inning, Carlos Gonzalez goes the other way. He drives in Eric Young Jr. And since that time, it's been all St. Louis. Colby Rasmus has a couple of triples in this ball game, 4 hits, and he's 3 for 3. It's 3 RBIs. You get the picture. Cardinals leading 9-3 as the Rockies will come up in the bottom of the 7th inning. They'll have Iannetti to lead things off. Rockies have been out hit 14-5. First matchup this year between St. Louis and Colorado. Miguel Batista continuing on.
Well, it's one of those games, quite honestly, for Batista, being a former starter. This is the value he has to a ball club. He can give you those 3 or 4 innings. Dexter Fowler in the on-deck circle. Yeah, he's starting to feel those butterflies. Bruce Billings warming up in the Rockies bullpen, regardless of spring training, regardless of AAA. This is kind of one of those deals where you just start to look up and you think, man, I never thought I'd make it here. Never thought I'd be a part of this. Was a converted starter. Going to the bullpen. I look forward to seeing that big arm walk through those gates and see what happens.
So Iannetta, an RBI double and a ground ball to third, facing Batista, and the fastball misses ball 1. Shattered bat, shallow center, and a running catch by Rasmus, 1 out. Dexter Fowler will bat for Matt Daly.
Well, you talk about a bat just exploding right off the end of the bat. Everything just leaves. All he can do is have a salt and pepper shaker in his hand.
People may be wondering, how's Jim Tracy going to handle Eric Young Jr. and also Dexter Fowler if he was able to ignite him at the top of the lineup. Jim Tracy basically challenged Eric Young Jr. Said, hey, force me to find a place to play you on a regular basis. It may not be the same spot. He wants him to take fly balls in right field. He's going to have him take ground balls at second base.
I tell you right now, what's going to play in the lineup for him and get him in the lineup is his bat, not so much of what he does and what position he's in. It's a matter of what he does with the bat. If he swings it, he's going to be playing.
Yeah, and right now the Rockies obviously in a very bad place offensively. So Jim Tracy's going to find any combination that works. You almost have to sacrifice a little bit of defense for offense right now, at least the way the trend is going. Here's Junior on deck, and his very close friend Dexter Fowler's at the plate with a 3-1 count. And the issues for Dex are left-handed. Tomorrow they're going to face Jaime Garcia. Jim Tracy's already said Dexter will be back in there. He's swinging the bat. His swing, George, is cleaner from the right side.
It's natural side for him a little bit, where he swings it a little bit better.
Strike 3. And
that's nasty.
Yeah, that's nasty, but it's also the 57th strikeout for Dexter Fowler, which is one of the highest marks in the National League. And for a guy that you want to be a contact guy, a leadoff type guy, I need not tell you that is way too many. 5 in a row set down by Miguel Batista. It's coming on for Jake Westbrook. And here's EY Jr. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Your Wells Fargo banker. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Junior's 1 for 3. He has scored a run. 1-1. Rockies 1-13, scoring 3 runs or less this month. 1-2. Batista was first signed in 1988. And George, he's one of those guys, and I know you played with some, that they never lost their fastball.
Well,
I mean, he's 40.
Yeah, and the thing, look how many starts he's made through his career, too. I mean, he's made a lot of starts. It hadn't always just been bullpen work. It's been a little bit of everything. But the older he's got, the more knowledge he's got, and the ability of taking care of his body and throwing strikes. 92 at the last one.
Take a look at the Coors Light Hard Blast, Cold Hard Blast. Colby Rasmus has 2 triples in the ball game. He has 3 RBIs. He's tied a career high with 4 hits tonight. That is the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. And Bruce Billings, 30th round pick out of San Diego State, Tony Gwynn's program in 2007. Making his major league debut. He's from Morse High School in San Diego.
Yeah, big hard thrower coming out of that bullpen. You become part of this fraternity when you walk out of that bullpen. These guys getting excited for him. Greg Reynolds, Matt. You got Houston Street guys clapping, trying to get him fired up a little bit, coming in there. Happy for him. He's going out here to get some outs. And I mean, he was around this a little bit in spring training, but now that second and third deck's up there, and it's the real deal. It's the big leagues.
Skip Schumacher is going to pinch hit for Batista. Years from now, Billings will remember that pitch and who he was facing. He's got a good arm. You see 94 there.
Well,
Not a soft tosser.
The thing about it, when he was starting, he was 89, 90. 91, and then all of a sudden he put him down in the bullpen. It jumped up to 93, 94, then 95, 96, and it hit 98 this past winter.
Fouled off, 2-2. Down low, 3-2. that is dropped into left field for a base hit. So Schumacher reaches. That is the 15th hit for the Cardinals tonight. Ryan Theriot, a couple of hits and 4 trips tonight. Billings last year in Tulsa was 11-6 with a 3.28 ERA. And a chance for 2. Billings, a low feed, nice pickup by Tulowitzki.
Yeah,
and
Tulo
safe at second. Evidently Tulowitzki picking up the baseball came off the bag, and Vic Carapazza is not giving him the neighborhood play.
Well, here's the thing. It's a bad throw by Billings. That's the big part about it. That's what created it. See, low throw, never touched the bag at all. Never got close to it. You're kind of hoping you rub against it, but Billings got all that started with the bad throw. That's what created the problem for Troy Tulowitzki.
John Jay, a double in the first inning and scored on a Pujols hit. He's 1 for 4.
Take a behind-scene look at Coors Field. That's right. Group or individual tickets, they're available. 303 Rockies to take a tour of this beautiful ballpark. Some of the areas you don't typically get to see when you buy a ticket.
And that's a base hit the other way. And they're not going to run on Gonzalez, and they're not going to run up 9-3. So Schumacher to third. John Jay with his second hit of the night. And here comes Albert. Well, I guarantee you Billings won't forget that in his first big league appearance he faced the great Albert Pujols.
I think it'd really distract Pujols if you walked up to the plate and go, dude, would you sign this ball? And then I'll pitch to you, but I've always just wanted it.
That would be unconventional. But I'm sure there's some guys out there have thought about that,
Yeah.
right?
Well, the Cardinals has 16 hits. The season high 19 happened April the 15th in Los Angeles against the Dodgers.
Tonight's not going to hurt their National League leading batting average at 281 coming in. Coming in, they had 250 runs, which was second in the league. Cincinnati's #1. They may overtake them after this evening. (2-0) on Pujols, first and third. See the Cards just ahead of the Cubs. This is a double play ball. There's one, and there is 2. So Billings gets out of that first inning despite a couple of hits. 9-3 Cardinals. Today's Ecotech game summary brought to you by Ecotech Institute in Denver, where you can make the world your workplace. Westbrook went 5 innings. He allowed 3 runs. He's on the plus side. Ubaldo had a disappointing outing. He gave up 6 runs in 6 innings, 12 hits allowed. That's the most he's ever allowed in a ball game. EY Jr.'s 1 for 4 so far in his 2011 debut. It's been all the Cardinals, but most notably Colby Rasmus, who's 4 for 4, pair of triples, 3 ribbies. He came into the ball game 0 for his previous 18. New pitcher Ryan Tallett on the left side. He'll face Johnny Herrera.
He broke his non-throwing hand earlier in the season, so he missed some time. Miller, the other left-hander. They're both specialists. 5 1/3, covering 7 appearances so far. He has walked 3. Giving up 5 hits, 8 base runners. The opposition, 230.
Ryan Tallett to Johnny Herrera, then Carlos Gonzalez and Troy Tulowitzki in front of a crowd of 31,285. This is not how the Rockies wanted to welcome in the Memorial Day weekend. The outfield extremely shallow. 2-2. Jay Rasmus and Berkman. Time for tonight's Quest High Speed Pitch, brought to you by the new Quest 5-year price lock promise. Visit quest.com/promise for details. Waldo 96 and Westbrook 92. This ball pulled down the line. And one guy really thankful that was foul is John Jay, because he would have needed a tag team to get to the baseball. He's a mile off the line.
Duck. Look out. Holy cow, he like bent over backwards.
Three and 2. Barry Weinberg's going out with Tony La Russa.
Yeah, you never like to see this, obviously, for the Cardinals and their ball club. I mean, all of a sudden, this young man got a little difficulty with the hand. Now he's got difficulty with the wrist. He's talking to Barry Weinberg. They'll get it checked out in the locker room. But the hard-throwing youngster, Sanchez, on the way in.
This replay brought to you by the Colorado Lottery. Bruce Billings coming in, making his major league debut, and he got out of the inning. Made a low throw here, which should have been a double play. The runner called safe in second.
Hey, first TV game, want a little more time.
Yeah, but he got Albert Pujols on a high fastball. You usually don't get those back. Those are usually souvenirs, but it turned into a 6-4-3. So good for Bruce Billings. Eduardo Sanchez gets all the time he needs.
Yeah, this youngster can really bring it, folks. 26 strikeouts in just 19 innings, 11 hits. He has a few saves under his belt so far this year. Sanchez has been asked to close along with Salas, and Sanchez 5 of 7. The one thing that does jump out is the walks. He walked 12 in 19 innings, so sometimes he creates bad things. But man, how about opponent average? .77. Pretty good number to throw at you.
Now, how about this for Strange? So Johnny Herrera is still at the plate naturally. He's got a 3-2 count, but he's going to take the 3-2 count and flip over to the left side. His talent obviously was left-handed.
Yeah.
Look at this baseball card. George, you familiar with this? There's
No.
Tommy Herr.
Who's that guy on the left?
Dan O'Brien.
It's not gray. It's not short. Looks a lot better than it did, huh?
Here's
It
the
does.
ever-present mustache from your big
Yep.
league career.
Yeah, wore it all the time. Tommy Herr, all-star for a long time. And Dan O'Brien actually went back to Michigan, was a pitching coach there, and because of a shoulder injury, he was not able to pitch at the big league level. And was very accomplished in what he did. I think that was the one thing, Dan, he never got an opportunity. He got up a couple of times for drinks of water, but hurt his shoulder and went back and was a college pitching coach. But Tommy Herr, a lot of people know that played on some world championship teams and a very long career there in the Cardinal uniform.
That was the Cardinal team that could really run. You had Herr and
Coleman,
Willie McGee and Vince Coleman.
Ozzie. Got some guys who could fly.
Yeah, Ozzie Smith. He's a pretty good shortstop, George.
He wasn't bad.
So it's 3-2 on Johnny Herrera. Eduardo Sanchez in relief of Ryan Tallett. This is fouled off out of play. This is in the air to center field.
Well, if you wanted the first 10,000 through the gates, tomorrow you'll receive Todd Helton t-shirt courtesy of King Supers. The first pitch is at 5:10. Reminder for everyone, tomorrow's game at 5:10 at Coors Field. And if you be one of the first 10,000, get a Helton shirt. All of that brought to you by King Supers.
Carlos Gonzalez, a 7-game hitting streak because of his third inning RBI single. He's 1 for 3. Again, Tony does different things. He does different things offensively, sometimes with the lineup, and he does different things defensively. I'm looking at John Jay. He's in left center field, and you have a guy who can leave the yard to left. And again, I know it's a 6-run lead for the Cardinals, but George, he's playing like Johnny Herrera is swinging the bat here.
He is doing that. Tony does have some different alignments. Oh, that got him. Caught it.
Comes Barry Weinberg again. He was It was Carlos Gonzalez who got hit. I guess Yadier Molina. I don't know if that deflected off him as well.
Who did all this hit? There's 1, 2. I did miss the umpire. That's what I want to know. Belt buckle, though. Wow.
I don't know if I've seen that before.
I haven't.
Tulowitzki is 1 for 2 in a walk. Slider for a strike. It's 0-2. Fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies do score 7 or more for the Rockies taco special, text the keyword taco to 720-720. Rockies been out hit 16-5.
Another slider off the plate. Fastball 93 on the knees and down.
Left elbow tightness, the reason that Ryan Tallett had to be removed from the game. Rasmussen center, routine play, 2 gone. Rasmussen has 5 putouts in the last 3 innings. After not seeing a baseball the first 5 innings of the game.
Last base runner the Rockies had prior to that walk had been Todd Helton all the way back in the 3rd inning. 15 straight.
Well, it's a nightly deal. You know, the Rockies have maybe 1, perhaps 2 opportunities to score. Now, tonight they did some good things in the 2nd inning, had a couple of runs, but then in the 3rd inning, George, they had 1 out and the bases loaded. Wigginton struck out and Spilborgh's grounded out. So he had a chance to open up a little bit of separation from the Cardinals. They could not. And their offense has been a whisper since then. Here's the 1-0 to Todd. He pops it up in the middle of the diamond. Wynn taking it. And underneath is Theriot. That's all for the Rockies in the 8th inning. 9-3 the score as we go to the 9th. Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. New Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. And by Jack in the Box. Right now, Jack in the Box, get the new bourbon barbecue steak grilled sandwich at participating restaurants. It has been another tough night at the office for the Rockies. 9-3, they trail the Cardinals in the top of the 9th inning. As always, after the ball game, the Toyota postgame show. And tonight, hosting is Alana Rizzo. Hey, Alana.
Hey, Drew, thanks very much. Ubaldo Jimenez finds himself once again in a no-win situation, unable to pick up his first win of the 2011 season. And then triple threat, Colby Rasmus has really hurt the Colorado Rockies tonight. 4 for 4, 3 RBI after 2 triples in this ballgame. And, of course, we get you into the clubhouse with Mark Stout. And don't forget to keep the text coming in for the Toyota postgame show. Drew?
All right, Alana, thank you. Bruce Billings will continue on here in the 9th inning. Lance Berkman will lead things off. So he's getting some big names out of the way in his big league debut. He got Pujols to ground into a 6-4-3. And here's Berkman, who's 1 for 3 and a walk tonight. National League leading average of .350 for the Puma. Look out, the bat over the dugout, and it hit a couple empty chairs. One of those situations where you're glad a few people left after the last half inning because it hit hard plastic.
It's just like, I want to see how far I can throw the bat. Just kidding. You know, guys that have big, strong swings, they'll reach a point where all of a sudden they feel that thumb or they'll feel the wrist start to go, and they just let go of the bat. I think it's just a natural instinct to not sprain the wrist. That's what they try to avoid.
Good heater, 1 and 2.
Well, if he's down, he could be very effective, obviously. And because of what he did in Tulsa after they took him out of the rotation midway through the year a year ago. I mentioned earlier, if you just joined and turn it on the TV, Billings was typically 88-92 there. But since he went to the bullpen, he's set anywhere from 93 and touched 98 this fall. So it's there.
One and 2 on Berkman. Two and a punt single to left. Nice job of hitting by Berkman. You ever wonder who the starting pitcher is going to be, or if your favorite players in the lineup? We'll let you know with the Root Sports Red Alerts. Text the word alert to 720-720 to get Rockies updates straight to your phone. Tyler Green will come up. Berkman comes out of the ball game. And guy, you know, Pete Cosma's in the ball game, former #1 pick, a Tulsa, Oklahoma kid.
Yeah, out of Owasso High School. Picked by the Cardinals, a guy with big time power, kind of had to adjust himself a little bit when he got into pro ball. They have an AstroTurf infield there, so it made it a little more difficult when he got out on the grass and was dealing with that. But he's a guy that can play a lot of positions. He was signed as a shortstop, and the last couple of years has been asked to play second, short, third in the outfield, as a plus arm. His bat still has not come to life like people thought it would. The second half last year in Texas, in the Texas League, hit some home runs, drove in runs. But as far as consistency, Drew, it hadn't happened for him yet. But it's nice to walk down. I mean, I hit this kid probably 350 to 400 ground balls every day starting in January at Oral Roberts University in the indoor facility. So it's great to go down and welcome another one into the fraternity from Oklahoma. He's there. He's in the big leagues.
Yeah, he was one of the most celebrated high school players in the country, and a great program at Owasso.
Yeah, really good kid, too. Owasso this year has Dylan Bundy, who should go in the top 10 picks in the country. Broken Arrow has Archie Bradley, who should go in the top 10 picks unless they price themselves out of it.
Broken Arrow's got 2 potential number ones, don't they, George?
Well, now Mason Hope has kind of dropped back into that 4th through 6th range. Whether he stays there, his senior year didn't quite go the way they anticipated it. Hard slider will get off the brick walls. You know what is funny, and Drew, I'm drawing a blank right now, but I'm riding home the other day, and it's been 2 weeks ago, and a guy says, "Hey, you going down to Morris, Oklahoma?" So, unless I'm going to buy feed for the deer or something like that. And he goes, "No, there's a guy down there supposed to be throwing 97. I go, "Get out of here." Well, Morris, Oklahoma, you got to understand, it's about the size of the infield here at Coors. I mean, there is a gas station and a convenience store and a school, but that's about it. I mean, the school is kindergarten through 12 in one building. I mean, it's not a big place.
And a 3-2 pitch is drilled to right by Green, and Cosma's going to come around. 10 runs now for St. Louis. 10-3 the score. George, go ahead and finish that story.
Well, young man, and again, I feel bad. I'm drawing a blank right now, but he was 97 miles an hour, and I thought, well, I wonder how many guys are going to be in there. There's 33 scouts in there watching.
More than live in the town.
Chicken wire backstop. I mean, we're talking.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like when they found Bob Feller. This is a towering pop-up in foul ground, and hoping to have a play he won't. That actually hit the dugout floor, not the roof. Alfredo Amezago with the glove would have been able to make that play.
There is some definitely hard throwers around Oklahoma and Texas, Kansas. It's a young player's name that's in Wyoming, the outfielder.
Is it Nemo?
Nemo, yeah. They don't have springtime baseball, so he's made his mark in the game playing in summertime. Fall league showcases.
He had a brother who was a very good player at the University of Nebraska. 2 balls and a strike on Rasmus. 4 for 4 tonight for Colby Rasmus. He's never had a 5-hit game in the big leagues. Ten runs, 18 hits for St. Louis tonight. Their season high in hits, 19 against the Dodgers. All season long, join us for Toyota Talk, and you can do the same thing during the post-game show, as Alana Rizzo reminded you. Text Toyota followed by a space, and then your comments to 720-720. To Helton. Nice job by Billings getting over. That's the toughest of double plays to turn, the 3-6-1.
Well, what makes it hard a lot of times is if you don't get there as a pitcher and your shortstop's throwing to a moving target, but if you bust it as soon as the ball's hit and get in a position where you can set your feet, it obviously increases the chances of this thing being completed, and that's just what Billings did. Billings beat the runner there, and he was sitting there waiting on Troy's throw to come over to first base. Second double play for Bruce Billings since he's came into the ballgame.
Yadier Molina at the plate. Couple of RBIs tonight. RBI ground out, a sac fly. Ball and a strike. That's something, unless the Rockies erupt for 9 in the 9th or something like that. They've done that before, George, against St. Louis. And a great effort by Ely, quickly to his feet. Molina's going to have a double. And Yadier has his first hit of the night. Cardinals are going to improve to 17-12 on the road.
Yeah, the best, most wins by a National League team out on the road. The St. Louis Cardinals have played very well. Here's another look at this ball. EY giving chase, dives, then comes up a little bit short. Yeah, he may not be that experienced in the land center, but it's not because of the lack of effort. I mean, he did everything he could to try to end the inning for Bruce Billings right there.
And then you get another change coming in to run for Yadier Molina's Kyle McClellan. I mean, the starting pitchers, 3/5 of them we've seen tonight. Yeah, Westbrook started. Kyle Loesch pinch ran and scored. Now McClellan is the 6-game winners out there.
But none of them are pitching. They're all just running the bases, scoring runs.
You know, honestly, there's not a lot of managers who would do that, especially in a blowout situation. And McClellan, you assume, is going to be smart, not run so hard he pulls a muscle or gets in some sort of collision. But talking about a guy who's 6-1, who's a big reason why, a huge reason why the Cardinals have been able to withstand the injury to Adam Wainwright.
Yeah, it's never going to happen. I can tell you right now, if he doesn't do what he's done, Cardinals are not going to be anywhere near where they are. What McClellan has done, and Tony La Russa, who's battled a case of the shingles and had to go back. This should be the end of the top of the 9th inning. They'll get out of here with just 1 run.
We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. The Cardinals up 10-3. One flat, ugly night at the ballpark. Cardinals 10 on 19 hits. That matches a season high for St. Louis. The Rockies, 3 runs, just 5 hits. Well, it's been 2 years since Jim Tracy took the reins of the Rockies. On Sunday after the game, Rockies Weekly with Jim Tracy looks back at the highs and lows of the last 2 seasons. We check in also on Eric Young before his call up from Colorado Springs. EY's made his 2011 debut tonight. He's 1 for 4. Singled and scored back in the 3rd inning. The Rockies do not have a hit since the 3rd inning when Tulowitzki singled. They've had 1 base runner since the 3rd. That was Cargo last inning when he got hit on the belt buckle. Tony Cruz is in the ball game catching. And Jason Mott is the new pitcher for St. Louis. Cosma's in at second base.
No, he's in right field.
Oh,
Did they switch it around now? What they do?
I thought Cosma's at second. And
they moved Green to right and brought Cosma to second. But Cosma was in right a minute ago.
Well, Wigginton just got hit by Mott.
Fastball just drills it right on the bicep. Man, oh man. Mott's a hard thrower.
Billboards 0 for 3 tonight. Two and 0. Windshield damage, call Safelite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000, online at safelite.com. It's the fifth pitcher utilized by St. Louis. Unusual in a ball game you're leading 10-3 and the opposition has only 5 hits. And now it's 3-0. Gleason Mott falls behind.
Well, Talon had to leave because of injury, so that kind of made you pick up one extra one there. And Sanchez threw an inning. Mott's trying to get through this one. He's 3 after hitting the batter. He's 3-0 on Spillboards.
Just caught the zone. Well, George, 3-2 count. All you can hope for in these situations.
No.
We're
going back there?
Yeah. July 6, 2010. The Rockies were on the wrong end against the Cardinals until scoring 9 in the 9th. Third time in big league history a team scored 9+ runs in the last inning of a walk-off win. And, you know, tonight they just need 8. Billboards goes down. That'll bring up Chris Iannetta. Checking the scoreboard in the National League, top of the 6th. Dodgers leading the Marlins 1-0. Rockies open a series at Dodger Stadium on Monday. Pirates beat the Cubs 4-2 despite a home run from Soriano, his 12th. The Nationals beat the Padres 2-1. Phillies over the Mets 6-4. Iannetta takes a strike. Reds getting healthy again. They beat Atlanta at Turner Field 5-1. National League West tonight. The Giants beat Milwaukee 5-4. The Giants, after being swept at home, bounce back. Lincecum got the win in that ball game. He's now 5-4. Markham took the loss. He's 6-2. Wilson got his 14th save. Alfredo Amezaguil pinch hit with 2 outs. Wigginton will go ahead and take second. American League scoreboard: Rangers Royals tied in the 11-7-7. Angels beat the Twins 6-5 tonight. That was 98 from Mott.
Oh, he's got an arm now. He can air it out.
A's leading the Orioles 2-1 in the 5th. Yankees 1-0 in the 4th in Seattle. Red Sox beat the Tigers 6-3. Red Sox, after that dismal start, now 7 games over 500. Crawford hit his 4th. Ellsbury is 6th for Boston. Fouled off. Blue Jays beat the White Sox 4-2 tonight. And the Rays blanked the Indians 5-0 behind David Price, who struck out a career high 12. He's pretty good, George. I don't know if you've seen him pitch.
He wasn't bad, was he?
No. Casey Kochman, his 2nd home run for the Rays. And Sam Fuld hit his 3rd home run, the Stanford product. got a big following down there now in Tampa. 1-2, and it's on the ground to second. And mercifully, this one's done. 10-3 is the final score. The Cardinals pound out 19 hits. Jake Westbrook improves to 5-3. And the drought continues for Ubaldo Jimenez. He falls to 0-5, giving up 6 runs on 12 hits in 6 innings. And not much to speak of again offensively for the Rockies. They are in a very, very dark place right now. 24-26 their record. The Cardinals now 10 games above 500, 31-21 as we take a look at our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. 4-hit night for Colby Rasmus, a pair of triples up and down the lineup. St. Louis delivered. Once again, the final score, the Cardinals 10 and the Rockies 3 on a Friday night at Coors Field. They can only get better tomorrow. Stick around, the Toyota postgame.